Hi everyone, thanks for joining in. We'll just give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get started while people join in still. Thanks. All right, hi everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar this morning. We're going to be covering what's new in Review 21. Apologies to anyone who joined in last week and couldn't get in. We had some technical issues and had to reschedule to this week. So thank you for re-registering and joining today, and hopefully get some good info over to you throughout the session. So today will be presented by myself, Alex, Technical Sales Manager at AST, and also very excited we have Ash, our Customer Success Support, who will be presenting part of the webinar as well. Just a quick overview of AST, what we do, who we are. We're a software technology solution provider for the AEC industry. We have a range of different software, hardware, services, solutions that we provide to our customers. So Bluebeam, obviously, is what we're here to talk about today. We also are an Autodesk Gold partner, Adobe Gold partner. We provide ESET, security, antivirus software, hardware, HP, Dell, Lenovo, and quite recently we brought on Microsoft Surface as well to help sort of use Bluebeam on the go. We also have professional services division, which is the CAD West Bureau, who cover drafting services, customization of products and services, and we have our FM systems facilities management department as well. If anyone would like to talk about any of these solutions, feel free to reach out to us anytime. Cool. So where can you find help with any of the things that we provide? So you can obviously always reach out to us at support@advancedspatial.com.au. Give us a call on 300 672 888 is our phone number. You can call us anytime during our work hours and someone will be able to assist you. Or if you send us an email, someone will get back to you as soon as we can as well. Within Bluebeam, you've got the help guide, which is really a useful tool. If you're not sure how to use a function or something's not working properly, if you go into help and then help within that help menu, there is an online help guide that gives you a detailed breakdown of all the functions, which is very useful. With every Bluebeam subscription, you also now get access to Bluebeam University, which is a self-paced online training course, which has different modules related to different functions in Bluebeam, which is quite a useful resource as well. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to be looking at Review 21 and what's been added to it since they released it. Just over 2 years ago now. So we're going to be covering all the additional features that have been added and the value that's been added throughout the program, some different functions, improvements, and then also we're going to start talking about Bluebeam Cloud towards the end, where it was, what's changed, and where it is now. So with that, I will hand over to Ash, who will share his screen, and he will take you through what's new in Review 21. Thanks, Ash.
Thank you, Alex. So now I'll just be sharing my screen.
Ash, go for it.
Yep, it's all done. Awesome. So I'll just be talking more about what's new in the new Revu 21, all the new cool features that's been added recently throughout the years. Firstly, I'm going to be talking about the sign-in access. So in the past, basically, you're given a serial number and a product key. And if by any chance the computer were to crash or you would need to log into a new device, then would have to contact us or Bluebeam just to release that account. So it was just a big long process just to retrieve your account and log into a new device. And with the new feature, basically, you're just given a Bluebeam ID or you can use your email and just a password. And now you can log into as many devices as you wish to, or so you're not basically locked into one device. So it just makes a lot simpler and easier for yourself to switch between devices according to your needs as well. Awesome. Uh, And next, I'm going to be talking about the multiply feature. So as you can see, it's just a document over here. So basically in this scenario, let's say I would want to create a couple of lines in the office and I would need them to be 5 meters apart from one another. So basically zoom into here first. And just in this office, I need a line to be created. So what I'll do is I'll go to the right toolbar over here and I'll select the line function here, toolbar, and I'll just create a line over here. Awesome. And now that's selected and now I've created that line markup. And let's say I want to use the multiply feature. So I'll just click right on it while it's selected and it's just right over here, the multiply section over here, or you can just control M if you like to use shortcut as well and just click left on it. And you can see there's a faded preview of the line that's going to be created. Once you click OK as well, that's shown to you. And the multiply
Hey,
dialog box will
sorry,
also.
sorry, Ash. I think you're sharing just the window and not your whole screen, so these context menus aren't showing for everybody. Do you want to just stop sharing and just share your full screen?
Oh, oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. Are you to see
Great.
it now?
That's better. Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ash.
awesome. Sorry about that, guys. I'll just redo that again. Awesome. So thanks so much, Alex. Yeah, so I'll be talking about the multiply now. So let's say I needed to create a line here in the office and I need them to be 5 meters apart from one another. So I'll just be going on to the toolbar on the right here and just to click line markup over here. I'll just click on it. I'll just create a line on the office here. Awesome. And now that's been created and I need to multiply this markup over here. So I'll just click right on it while it's selected. And as you can see, there's a multiply section right over here, or you can just click Control M as well. I'll just click left on it and the multiply dialog box will just show up as well. And with the different sections as well, where you can change according to your needs. And it will also show a preview line of where the multiply is going to be if I click OK here now. So in this section, I need it to be 5 meters apart. So I'll just change the distance to 5 and the unit of measurement drop box as well. You can just change it to whichever unit you would require for your measurement. So in this case, I need it to be 5 meters apart. As you can see, the preview is now changed 5 meters away from the original markup. And you can also change the direction as well. In the direction box over here, you can change it either right, left, up, or down as well. I just want it to be on the right for this part. Just leave it as it is. And also you can do the copies as well, how many markup that you would like to multiply as well. So in this case, let's say I want to have 3 of it. I want to to multiply, you need to mark up the tree. So I can change it to tree, and you can see there's 3 lines that's been previewed, created over here, as you can see from the faded lines. So they're all 5 meters apart based on the requirement that I've entered as well. And once you're happy with all your changes, you can just click OK, and you will automatically just create the multiplying markups for you. So in general, just it saves you a lot of time, of course, and just makes it a lot easier for you, especially if you need the same markup in a specific area and you need it at a specific distance as well, or direction. It just saves you a lot more time as well and just enhances your workflow. So that's the new multiply feature that's been recently added. And next, I'm be talking about the auto align feature that's been added. So this basically is a feature where you can find when you're comparing or overlaying your drawings. So for that, I'll just change to a different document over here. And where you can find your auto align will just basically be at the top where you have to click at overlay. So at the top menu bar, if you just go on to documents, and just right over here where it says overlay pages, just click on that, and it will show you the first drawing, of course, and then you need the second document where you want to compare. So I'll just click on the plus sign over here to paste the other document as well. And as you can see visually, the documents are not aligned just yet. And so previously, what you would have to do when this happens is you have to manually align the documents. So you would have to go to the page drop box over here. So previously there was no where auto line here is. So there was no auto line. So it was just page align and just manual alignment. So I'm just going to show you how manual alignment looked like. So basically you can just click on it and to draw it. There's 3 dot points over here. As you can see, it's kind of been aligned, but at the same time, then it's not properly still aligned yet, and you would have to kind of realign again just to get the perfect alignment of it. So it just used to take up a lot of time, and this takes up a lot of effort as well just to get the documents to be aligned. So that was the manual alignment that was previously used by a lot of our users, and it just there was a lot of errors as well with this as well. So Bluebeam has now come up with a auto align feature where you just click auto align and you let the AI do the rest for you. So I'll just show you how that works now. So let's say now I want to just cancel this and just redo it just to make it better for you. So now we're back to the document that's not aligned. So now let's say I want to use auto align. So it's the same place over here. And just click auto align over here, and boom. So you just if you click of a button, it automatically aligns the 2 documents for you, and you can visually see the changes that's been made with the red and green lines over here. So with the auto align, of course, it's no longer a manual process just to align different sheet sizes or offset drawings. It just enables you to save a lot of time with document comparisons. Awesome. So next I'll be talking about the tool chest search. So it's a really cool feature as well that's recently been added as well in the tool chest feature. So where you can find your tool chest is just on your left hand panel. So just right over here where it just when you hover your mouse around, you can see this is the tool chest over here. Let's say in this scenario, I want to find out where the power panel is, and with just a lot of custom markups that's already been added throughout the years, it's kind of hard for you to navigate around and see where exactly the power panel is. So with the new tool chest search, just at the top over here, right where the tool chest is, a search feature that's been added now. You can just type in power panel, and it automatically filters out all the custom markups and only gives you what you are looking for. So it automatically gives me the power panel that I want. And so it's a really cool feature, of course, because it just helps saves you a lot of time and just makes your workflow a lot more efficient as well. Um, and so this is the new tool chest search. I would say this is one of my personal favorite as well. So this, as with a lot of different custom markup, it just can be hard to navigate around and find the tool that I'm looking for. And next, I'm going to be talking about the preference search. So where I can find the preference search would be at the menu bar at the top. So it's right over here where review is, and it's right over here at the preferences, or you can just do Control A for shortcut. Just click on it. It just comes up with a preference dialog over here. So with the new preference search feature, it just allows you to locate features and options quickly in cases where you need to find something in the preferences. So I'll just show you how you would have to navigate through without the search feature previously. So let's say in this case, I need to find where 3D rendering is. And you would just have to go around navigating and trying to see where 3D rendering might be previously. But now with the new search feature, you can just type in 3D rendering and it automatically filters out what you're looking for and what the content are, and just shows you there's two types of 3D rendering over here, and basically with what you need, you can just click on whichever you are required at the moment. And for this case, I just need 3D rendering, so I'll just click on the top one over here, and it automatically just brings me to 3D rendering without me having to navigate around and trying to find out where 3D rendering is. So it just saves you a lot of time and just productivity enhancement in general. So it's really cool. I really like this feature as well. It saves me a lot more time when I'm trying to look for something which I'm not sure about. Awesome. So that's the preference search feature. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about the dark mode. So this is a feature that can be found on the navigation bar. So where navigation bar is right over here, below over here, and just right over here where when you hover your mouse over here, you can see there's the dark mode, or you can click Control 3. So that's your dark mode. Essentially what this does is it inverts the light and dark colors. So the pages are still white, but it's reverted to create that filter mode to make it dark. So which kind of helps with the eye strain and makes your head hurt less in general. And click on it. So it's automatically just changes it for you. And let's say you want it back to light mode again, you just have to go down and just click on it again, and it automatically changes it for you as well. It's a really cool feature because you can imagine staring at a document for hours and hours can just hurt your eye a lot, and especially if you're just trying to zoom in and look for certain documents, it just can be an eye strain as well. And I generally love this feature as well because I love because when I'm looking at documents for hours and hours, it just helps me a lot better with my eyes. Awesome. So that's these are all the new features that's been recently added into the new Revu 21. So I'll just hand over back to Alex to talk more about the studio versions and what's new as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ash. There's some really cool new features there. I think the dark mode is awesome as well. It's a nice one to reduce your eye strain.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So next we're going to talk about Bluebeam Cloud. So Bluebeam Cloud was Bluebeam's new solution that was released when Revu 21 launched, when the subscription model launched as well. So it's gone through, I guess, it started as quite a basic basically just an online viewing tool, I guess, for drawings. It expanded to add additional tools as it went as well. Originally, when it was launched, it had some basic markup tools in the web version. It had an iOS version, which was used for just the field tools, which included a defect inspection tool where you could place defects, add photos, put information. It had an RFIs tool and a couple of other things as well that all went into there. As things have kind of grown, additional functions were added in terms of markups, measurements, things like that. The iOS version expanded a little bit, but there was very, very low adoption on the field tools, the defect tools, and the RFIs tools. There was a lot of reasons for this, but basically what it led to eventually was earlier this year, Bluebeam decided to discontinue those functions and focus Bluebeam Cloud in a little bit of a different direction. Which has sort of brought us to where we are now. And Bluebeam Cloud has sort of evolved to now be essentially Bluebeam Studio on the web or in an app. So we've now got access to Studio projects and Studio sessions through a web browser. We've now got access to them through iOS and Android as well. Android is slightly behind where the iOS app is, but yeah, the functionality is quite close now. So what does that mean for you guys? I guess in a traditional sense, if we were collaborating through a studio session, generally to create a studio session, you needed a license of Bluebeam. But however, you could invite anyone to that studio session and they could join in. They don't need a license of Bluebeam to join a studio session and participate and mark up inside that session. However, they would have to download a program, install it, and get approval to do that and everything like that. Now, if we create a studio session for everybody to participate in, we could send the link to someone and they could create just basically a Bluebeam ID and log in through Bluebeam Cloud, which is great. Whether they have a license or not, they can still be a contributor in a studio session. So I'm going to do a quick demo on how it all works. Bear with me, this is quite new in terms of sort of what it's doing, but I'll take you through from the Bluebeam part to all like the review side all the way to the cloud in the web. So let me bring up review again. So I sit in the US server with my accounts just because of where mine was set up. However, you could be in the Australian server, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to sign in quickly. There's this button underneath the studio sign in there, which is use my review logging credentials, which means it's going to use the credentials that I have up here. If let's say, for example, my login account is in the Australian server, however, my studio account from history is in the US server, I could uncheck that box and log into the Australian servers for studio without affecting my sign in for review. In here, we obviously have our list of projects. We can also create projects, which I'm going to do now. Just create a new project called webinar. What's new? And hit OK. Now, creating projects can only be done through the desktop app. It can't be done through the Bluebeam Cloud web app. However, creating sessions can be done through the Bluebeam web app as well as through Review. I'm just going to upload some files into here. Hit add, open some files, and I'm just going to add in these files that I've got for my webinar here. Hit OK, and those will all upload as you would normally with a studio project. For anyone who doesn't know what a studio project is, I probably should explain that. It is basically just an online cloud-based document management system that's built into Review. It allows you to manage your project documents. You can add PDFs, any files, Excel, Office files, CAD files if you want to. You can add whatever you need to into here. You can set up folder structures. You can set up things it's got to check out and check in. It will add comments as you check in and things like that as well. But yeah, so that is a studio project. Now, if I jump over to the Bluebeam Cloud web app, this is what you'll see when you sign in. Very similar to what you would have seen previously before they retired the old part of it. The only difference is in the old part, you would have just seen a tab that said projects here, not studio projects and not studio session. So they retired that projects tab and added in the studio projects and studio sessions tabs. So if I go to studio projects here, at the moment, I can only see the ones that this account has been invited in. This is a different account to the one I'm using in the desktop app. So I'm going to go ahead and add that account as a user to this project. And user access, and I'm going to add one. It's just going to be this here. And then while I'm at it, I'll add Ash as well, just in case he wants to check out a file. Oops. Cool. So while they're not joined, they'll show as not joined as usual. As soon as I hit OK, it will send an invite and we will be able to join those projects. So if I go back to the cloud now, I should see that project in here that I've been invited to. And I refresh. These web platforms, they take a little bit to refresh. There we go. So we've got webinar, what's new here. If I go into here in the cloud, I should be able to see all the files in here. I won't be able to add files and remove files from here, but I will be able to open them up, view them. I should be able to mark them up in here as well, and then check them back into the project. Currently the file is locked, so it's still checked in. As soon as I hit that lock, it will check it out. It's not available for checkout, which is great. Let's see if it'll let me check out a different file. It's not available for checkout. Okay, great. Normally it should let me check that out, and then I should be able to mark up the file as well, as I would in the desktop app. You just have a little bit more limited in terms of markup functionality in here. But generally for things like collaborative review, using these files on the go, you should have the sort of annotation tools that you need, text tools, clouds, things like that, Cloud Plus, all of that should be in here now, which I'll show you once we go into the studio session. It'll be very similar to what you would see in here. So now, studio session. Let's go into there. So if I want to send one of these files to a studio session, I'm just going to right click it here and add it to a new session. Session is going to be what's new, or let's call it webinar what's new as well, just to make it match. Hit OK, and then that should create my session. Take a couple of seconds. Here we go. So it's created that session and it should load that document in there as well. Cool. I'm going to add a couple of attendees, which is going to be spatial. And then I'll add Ash as well. You could add these from a group. You can add them from your address book, or you can just copy and paste and type them in here as well. Cool. So we've got 2 participants. I can check those emails, make sure they're correct. Obviously, if they're not correct, they're not going to go to the person. I'll hit invite participants, and then we will get invites to join those sessions. So traditionally, we would obviously mark up this document in here. If I open this document up, it will load the live session. We could mark this up collaboratively. Myself and Ash, who's in a different room, we could all sit in this file, mark it up live. We could be in different sites, it doesn't matter. We can all sit in here and mark this up live. So with Bluebeam Cloud, actually, I will keep that open in here because I'm on a different account, so that's cool to see. So if I go to Studio Sessions in here, I should be able to see that session now. Great, webinar, what's new? Once I've opened that file up, it should now show me as joined in the session as well. You can see Bluebeam Demo, that's what that account is called. And we've got Ash's in there as well now. And Ash, if you start putting some markups on there, that would be great. Show everybody what you can see in there. So these are the sort of functions you have in Bluebeam Cloud now as well. So they've expanded the markup tools a little bit. Under the cloud, we should have a Cloud Plus now as well, I believe. Anything that's got this little arrow next to it means that there's more functions that expand out. Just sometimes they're a little bit dodgy to get out. sometimes I can't get them out at all. If a drawing's calibrated, you will also have length measurement and area. I think you have area measurement under here as well. And it's just not working for me at the moment, so that's great. But yeah, you should have area measurement under there as well. So you can do some basic measurements in the web app now as well. Measurement functions I don't think are in the iOS app yet, but they will be coming at some point soon. But yeah, we've got a pen tool, we've got text tools, arrows, callouts. You should have the Cloud or Cloud Plus under that as well. Highlighter, you can bring images in. If I start putting some markups on here, what I should see is if I go across to review, that markup should now be in there as well. So we can mark this up live. You can see how quickly that syncs as well. These are completely different accounts. So this is the sort of what you should expect in a live example as well. Can't see anything that Ash has put in there, but I'm sure he has put some things in there. I hope. Should be able to see things like, should be able to filter by who's done it. Yeah, let's go by creation date. Sounds good. Okay, so we can see a cloud that Ash is creating there. See that appearing down here as well. I could put a comment against this. See cloud in the wrong spot. You'll notice that I can't move that cloud. That's locked. That it shows up that markup is locked. That's because we're in a studio session. I can only edit my own markups. I can't edit Ash's markups. Even if I put one from my desktop device here, so I put a rectangle over here, for example. When I go to click that, it's locked. Two different accounts, they're not going to let me do it. With someone, let's say, for example, someone leaves the business and you boot them from the session. When you boot, as the administrator, when you boot them from the session, you have the option to transition their markups to your own name, which would then allow them to be edited and moved as well. So yeah, that is the studio sessions on the web. This is a cool sort of new era for Bluebeam. They're moving more towards this sort of Bluebeam Anywhere idea, which is, I guess, enabling users to be able to use their Bluebeam markup tools, Studio and Studio sessions, just anywhere, basically, on any device. Obviously, traditionally, we're very limited in terms of the devices that we can use being a Windows-based app. We couldn't use, like, they had an iPad app, which was quite clunky. They had no web app, obviously, and they used to have the Revu for Mac, which got discontinued a few years ago. So we're sort of moving into this era with the web-based app where we're starting to bring those options back into the Bluebeam world, which is awesome. So with that concludes the demonstration. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Open it up to any questions. Do we have any in the Q&A tab? And what I will do is allow everybody to have some audio. So if anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask questions, you are more than welcome to. 2 seconds. Great. Okay, so we have one question from AJ. How many users can we have in a particular session? Is there a limit? Good question. I don't think there's a limit. I used to know this off by heart, but it could be 500 potentially. Give me 2 secs. I have a big fact sheet which I'll show everybody on the details of Studio. Anybody have any other questions while I find that?
With some of the new features that were shown by Ash, do you need a particular tier for those features, or is it for everyone?
From my understanding, all those functions will definitely be in at least the core version. Which ones did we go through? So they should be available in all the versions, I believe. The auto align obviously is a compare and overlay function, which won't be in basics. That's only in core and complete. Multiply, I believe, is in all of the versions. Obviously, the sign-in is what you will use for all versions, and the tool chest and preferences search should be in all of them, and same with dark mode. So the only thing is auto-align, which should potentially be in only core and complete, and the same with Bluebeam Cloud. You'll only have access to that in core and complete, and just creating studio sessions you'll only have access to with core or complete as well. Okay, so we've got a couple more questions coming in. I'll just go back to AJ's first question as well from the Q&A. Let me bring up this fact sheet for you. Cool. So how many attendees can join? Sessions up to 500, and projects is unlimited. We can upload up to 5,000 files in a session. Projects is unlimited. Obviously, a session only supports a PDF for markup collaboration. Project supports any file format. 1 GB file size limit for a session. If you had a 1 GB PDF, that's huge. So I don't think I've found anyone so far who could break that limit at this stage, but projects, unlimited file sizes, and there's unlimited storage as well. Same markup sizes, unlimited for projects, 10 megabytes each for a session. Unlimited space and storage for each one. You can manage attendees and users' rights and what they can do. Can we restore previous revisions? So with a session, no. With a project, yes. So with a session, when you end a session, you get the option to either save it with the markups, without the markups, or not save it at all. So although you can't restore a previous revision, you're not necessarily, you can see the tracking of when the markup's been put on there, and if you want to just remove all the markups from the session when you save it, you can do that as well. You get notifications about user activity, and we can get markup alerts in sessions. And do all attendees need a license of review? No, the answer is. So anyone can get invited and join into a session. They don't necessarily need a license, and obviously bringing the sessions into web opens that up to a lot more people, which is great without having to install. So hope that answers your question, AJ, and goes a little bit further. So let's have a look. What's some of the other questions we've got coming in? So Rebecca, a quick question regarding a prompt that comes up when we're opening Revu. You're downloading an update. Good question. It's likely to be probably something internal. Looks like Ty's answered that already, but yeah, it looks like you probably need your IT to assist with something like that. Anytime you're having issues downloading, it could be being blocked by something to do with your antivirus or permissions that your IT have set. So do we have any other questions? Oh, cool. So you've got a sort of follow-up question to AJ's question on the user limit in a session. So from Zach, is a 500 editing at once in a single document, or 500 members allowed to access? So that was for a session, not a project. So session was the live collaboration, and it's 500 can access the session. So you can invite up to 500 attendees to be in there, and then yeah, up to 500 can edit at the same time. Cool. Sorry, I've got more questions coming in as well. Question from Bilal. So do all users need to have a full license to read and access the documents in the session? No. So you could invite anybody to your studio sessions. It's not limited to your own organization. You could invite any of your project partners into a session. They don't need to have a license of Bluebeam to access that session. They will obviously either need a studio account, so whether that's a Bluebeam ID for Bluebeam Cloud, or a installation of Bluebeam to access the session, but they don't need a license. So they don't need the privileges of having a license to actually mark up and join the session. They just need a license to actually create a session. So if you're the person who is managing the session, administering it, and actually creating it and setting it up for everybody, then you need to have a license. But the idea is it's designed to allow people across a whole project to collaborate. So whether they have access to Bluebeam or not, they will still be able to join into your session. When you invite someone to a session, if they don't have an account, they'll be asked to set up an account as well. And then we've got a question from Shane. Can participants work on different pages at the same time, or just the one that is on the session screen? No, you can open up any of the documents. So we could upload as many documents into the session as we want. Let me just share my screen again, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I upload some more documents into here, if I add these in here, we could have multiple pages in these documents as well. This one I think only has a single page, and same with these two, but we could be on different documents within the session and all mark them up at the same time. We can come and go. We don't like, so you can set a session expiration. So the session could, let's say all the markups and reviews due by Friday next week, before everyone closes for Christmas. We can set the session to expire on that day at a certain time, and it will basically mean that everybody needs to have their reviews and markups in by that time. And once that happens, the session will close out and no one will be able to get into it anymore. So yeah, you can sort of come and go as you need to. You don't all need to be in at the same time. The idea is it's a collaborative review, so we can do it live. So we could use this if we're all having a review meeting, for example. We can be in teams and we can all sit in the studio session and mark up live with a lot less lag and stuff like that than doing it through a team session. But yeah, you don't have to be on the same page or same document as well. Oh, is there any other questions coming through? Oh, question from Rebecca. Can we briefly summarize the difference between a project and a session? Sure can. So the difference is, Studio Project is Studio Projects as a tool is a cloud-based document management system. So it's a tool for storing files and managing your project documents. Studio Sessions is a collaboration tool. So it's a live collaborative markup tool. So Studio Sessions is just for storing the files, and then Sessions is for actually working with the files, basically, so that we can all work together at different times and things like that. Does that make sense, Rebecca? Thanks. We've got a question from Harrison. Will the session run online in the background? So yes, it will basically so follow up to his question as well. For example, the host computer closes the program. Will others still be able to work in the session? Yes, while the session is active. So the administrator just needs to set up the session, add people in. If you close out of it, the session will remain active until whatever that expiry date you set is, or if you don't set an expiry date, it will remain active till an inactivity period, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's quite a long time, and you get notifications before it would close out anyway as well. But yes, the host doesn't need to be in the session for it to continue being active. Like I could close out of these sessions that I've created today and Ash can still work in them. A question from Bonnie. What happens to the documents once the session has ended? Are they automatically saved as separate files to the originals? So you have options there. So let me just go into here. If I close down these files, and then I have a button up the top here. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Get confused which one's leave and which one's finish. Cool, so under here, we've got finish session. Sorry, I need to share my screen. Bear with me. Didn't see my mistake then. Cool, so yeah, under here where the session title is, we've got this button that is finish session. And when I do this, I get the option to choose what I do with the files. So I can either save it overriding the existing files of where they've come from, or I could save them in a particular folder. I could choose not to save the files. So yeah, you can choose what you do in terms of saving them. It's not going to automatically overwrite them, but it can if you want it to. It'll also generate a report of all the markups as well, so we can see what's been done in the session. So let me just do this. Let's do this as an example for you. So all those files will close out. It's opening them for me as well. shows that it's been completed, and the report should open up now as well. Here we go. So it gives me a report of all the markups that have been done, so you can see where someone's added something they weren't supposed to, or sort of it gives you the tracking of everything that's been done in the session as well. Cool. Any other questions? Can I see any more that have come through? Feel free to ask any questions, guys, about Bluebeam as well. If you want to see different functions, just let me know. Happy to answer any of them. Questions? Hang around for a few more minutes if anyone thinks of anything. Just let everyone know as well, for anyone who might be looking to add Bluebeam at the moment or have additional requirements for users at the moment, we do have a promotion that's running until tomorrow, which finishes, which gives 10% off new users. So if anyone has any requirements in the near future, let us know, and we can view that as well. Question from Shane. Thanks, Alex. Welcome. Thanks, Shane. Thanks for joining. All right, guys, if there is no more questions, we can close out the webinar. But yeah, thank you very much for joining, everybody. If anyone has any follow-up questions, feel free to send them through. You can send them to that support@advancedspatial.com.au email. I'll pop that in the chat as well in case anyone needs to reach out to us, or give us a call as well, and one of us will be able to help you. But yeah, thank you very much for joining today, and I hope everybody has a great Christmas and New Year break. We'll be closing off on the 20th. A new question, I think, sorry, before I finish up. Oh, question from Zach. If the internet drops out while in a collaborative session, will markups be added once internet comes back online, or will it time out? Really good question, Zach. Yes. So if your internet drops out while you're in a session, what you'll see is when you put your markup, it'll have this little symbol that basically shows it's pending. And then once your connection comes back on, it will upload itself for you. So yes, is the short answer. Yeah, it will. And another question from Jordan as well. While I was doing some markups for some drawings, I realized some documents can't be saved with a markup. Any other way that we could save the markups? What do you mean, Jordan? Do you have an example? Do you want to unmute yourself and we can chat about it if you have a microphone? Explain a little bit more. Or we can take it offline and have a look at it as well. I can send you an email. It could be that there were security settings that were stopping it from being saved, potentially with markups. I'm not sure. Hard to say. Okay, question from Evan as well. Sorry, Evan, give me 2 secs. Okay. Just to follow up to Jordan's on as well, the drawing's locked for some functions. Let's Jordan, I'll send you an email after this, and maybe we can jump in a call together and have a look at some particular files you're having the problems with and work out what's going on. Cool. Evan's question. So if I have multiple markups grouped together and multiple groupings on a document, is there a way to ungroup all if I select them together? So Evan, do you mean, so you have, like, let's say you have a few markups grouped here, a few markups grouped over here. Can I ungroup them all at the same time? Good question. I don't think I've ever tried that.
Yeah, I often have multiple groups on each page, and and if I'm moving them to a new document, or a separate document, or even in the same document, if you select multiple groups, there's no the ungroup function disappears, and even the shortcut doesn't work for the Control Shift G.
Yeah. Okay.
I
would
was just wondering if
suggest
that.
the short answer
Yeah.
is probably no. Let's run a quick test. Well, group those, right? Oh, my mouse freezes. Cool. Assuming if you've tried this, it's probably going to do the same thing for me. Yeah, because what's happening is it's going to try and get me to group those two functions, right, rather than ungroup them. Yeah, I would suggest the answer is no, but I will do some further investigation for you, Evan, and I'll let you know.
No worries, thanks.
Good. So, any other questions? Cool. All right, everyone. Like I said, if you do think of any other questions, just shoot us a message. The support at advancedspatial.com.au will create a ticket, and either myself or one of us will get back to you as quickly as we can. Or if you have any urgent problems, just give the office a call and you'll get through to someone who can help. But yeah, thank you very much for joining today, everybody. Apologies again for having to reschedule this. Technical issues happen sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm really glad, and I hope everybody got some great information from the webinar today. So yeah, thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.